Women's Basketball Championship. A great week in Kansas City leads to Championship Sunday. Winners were celebrating all week. Winners were celebrated all week. Ready to add more moments and more memories, but only one team will be celebrating today and be called the Big 12 champion. The two teams still standing are the top two seeds. Regular season champion TCU, number 2 seed Baylor, set to go at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. And it is great to have you with us. With Christy Thomas-Scuddy, I am Eric Freed. I want to go off what Nikki Collins was talking about. Her team lost to TCU twice this season. Hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. How do you think this is going to play out today?
Well, it's about adjustments, and I really believe it's about which team can avoid the lulls offensively, because we've got 2 great rebounding teams, 2 great defensive teams. Which stars are ready to shine?
And a great duo starts off for TCU. They have fit perfectly together in their only season playing together. Haley Van Lith on the right, Sedona Prince on the left.
These 2 individuals started off as 2 of the most recognizable players in the women's game. Well, now they're the most recognizable duo. They've been so good in this spread, screen and roll offense that TCU runs. They can beat you on the inside. They can beat you on the outside. You can make adjustments, but it has seemed like TCU has been one step ahead because of these 2 veterans on the floor, each of them averaging almost 18 points a game.
They've had a great tournament so far, a great semifinal performance for the Baylor big, Aaronette Vonleh, who went for 37, a career high against Oklahoma State.
Well, here's what I noticed in the last 4 games. She is getting the most field goal attempts as she has all season. That says to me that Baylor has settled in with Aaronette Vonleh. They know that they will win with her. They know they can feed her the ball. They know she is a walking bucket when she gets the touches near the rim.
Vonleh playing great in that OT win, and her teammates are ready to celebrate with her. 2 celebrations this year for TCU against Baylor. It hasn't been that way. In fact, it was a 37-game winning streak for Baylor over TCU until this year. And then when the teams met again in Waco, it was TCU and Baylor playing for a regular season championship. TCU battled. It was a defensive struggle. Baylor had their opportunities, but in the end, TCU had the win over Baylor on the road.
Well, Baylor started off 1 for 10 in this game. In the 4th quarter, they started 1 for 16. The Bears must avoid those kind of scoring droughts this afternoon to get the win.
Let's take you through some of the series history. It's the 55th meeting all time again. Baylor dominating the series until this season. It was a 37-game win streak until the win in Fort Worth. That was a 5-point game. It was a 3-point game in Waco. So we expect another tight one here today on a neutral floor between these 2 teams that really play hard and play styles that they know each other really well. It's just the question of, in this moment, on this stage, who's going to win out. Nikki Collins seems pretty sure that they just need to make 1 or 2 baskets that didn't drop. And for the TCU head coach, Mark Campbell, it's just a question of, can they win 3 times in a year? We're about to find out. Nikki Collins is standing by with Chris Budden. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Nikki, you told your team in the locker room this is a chance to get it right. What have you learned from those 2 other games that you can take into tonight?
Yeah, I think we have to use our athleticism, but we have to slow down and finish. I think the way Nettie's been playing, I think we can go in and be really aggressive in the paint, but we have to take our time and finish layups.
Appreciate it. Eric?
All right, Chris, thanks very much. Nikki Collins' team getting it done here today in the semifinal round against Oklahoma State in overtime. They've won 11 of their last 12 games. TCU has won 9 in a row. As we get set to go here between Baylor and TCU, we want to get Mark Campbell's final thoughts. Here's Chris with the TCU head coach.
Mark, you guys know each other so well, having played 3 times, including just a week ago. How much do you have to change what you'll throw at them?
Nothing. It's just time to lace them up and go compete. I mean, it's your rival, and you're playing for a championship.
I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
For TCU, it would be their first tournament title since 2005 when they won the Conference USA tournament title. Baylor's last tourney title in the Big 12 was 2021. TCU in white, Baylor in the green, and we are ready to go here in Kansas City. Opening tip controlled by TCU.
Eric, expect player to player from Baylor. They want to try to keep the ball out of Haley Van Lith's hands and make others score.
Donovan Hunter gets the first shot and the first basket. She's been playing at the point, but can knock down the threes as well. You take a look at the Baylor starting five. Sixth player of the year, Yaya Felder, is now in the starting lineup for the Bears, and you can see right away Aaronette Vonleh on the inside, picking up where she left off yesterday against Oklahoma State.
Well, ask the Baylor coaches, are you going to do anything different defensively? For the most part, they said no, but we just got to be better defensively. They felt like they played a little tight last week in Waco.
You see the TCU starting five. Connor, 8 of 13 on threes in the tournament. And Agnes Emanoku, glue player for this TCU team. And it will be Baylor basketball. As we get ready for this heavyweight fight, how do these styles match up here today?
Well, for Baylor, they've been so good defensively. They want to take away first, second options and make others score. Expect a lot of blitzing, a lot of on-ball screen traps by them to get the ball out of Haley Van Lith's hands. And for TCU, even though we talk so much about their offense, their defense has been really good. 5-on-5 with one of the best shot blockers in the country, Sedona Prince, protecting the rim.
Turnover by Baylor. Here is Hunter. Starter now at the point. Van Lith will still run some point, but she's been off the ball a little bit more. Emanoku for Prince.
One major adjustment for Baylor, though. Vonleh is coming out and trying to defend Baylor.
Here's Sarah Andrews to Jada Walker, who runs the point for Baylor. Andrews, excellent shooter. Bella Fauntleroy, someone who does a little bit of everything well. They get it into Vonleh. That's knocked out of bounds, last touched by Baylor. It will be TCU basketball. Let's take a look at what you need to know, presented by Intuit TurboTax. And Baylor without their leading scorer and leading rebounder, Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, missing a 7th straight game due to injury.
And that puts so much pressure on Fauntleroy to stay on the court today, because if she has to go to the bench, Baylor gets really small in that 4 spot, and that's something TCU can exploit.
And right away, it's a foul called on Fauntleroy, Christy, so we will keep an eye on that. Nikki Collins says she's comfortable leaving Fauntleroy on the floor as she picks up some fouls. Prince from the outside. Soft touch from the big, averaging just under 18 points a game. Prince went for 18 points, had 16 rebounds and 2 blocks in the semifinal win over West Virginia here yesterday. 71-65 the final. Van Lith, Prince, and Connor combined for 53 points in the victory. 8 on the shot clock. Fauntleroy rolls to the basket. Prince makes the extra pass. One more pass by Felder to get a wide open Andrews. Great ball movement by the Bears for 3. Andrews makes her 79th 3 this season, the leader in made threes and attempted threes for this Baylor team this year. Great point on Vonleh, coming out just to challenge Prince. Prince is such a great passer as well, Christy, just trying to take away whatever weapons Prince has.
And when this offense works best, the offense goes through Prince and she scores or she is assisting, to your point, Eric.
Vonleh comes out to challenge. Prince off the mark. And now Vonleh in the post. What can she get done down here against an elite shot blocker would be the big question. Fauntleroy touched it back. Last, TCU ball.
Well, we talked about how Vonleh's going to have to defend Prince away from the basket. She gets hung up on that screen, and Prince makes her pay. Very unselfish ball movement by Baylor, passing from a good shot to a great shot, and Andrews knocks it down.
Fauntleroy just tipped the pass out of bounds, so it'll be TCU basketball in the corner on the side. Horned Frogs reaching the 30-win mark for the first time in program history, thanks to that victory over West Virginia yesterday. We'll talk about the amazing turnaround for this TCU program as we go along here today. Van Lith, defended by Walker. Vonleh jumps out to challenge, looking cross court for Hunter.
And that's how Baylor wants it to be. They want to get the ball out of Haley Van Lith's hands with the double and make others make plays.
Felder to the basket. Connor stood her ground defensively. Felder back behind the play, so an advantage here for Connor and TCU. And then a turnover. Fauntleroy, beautiful job to take it away, keep the dribble, and make the pass to Vonleh. Vonleh up against Prince, and here comes Van Lith. Van Lith gets around and finishes with the offhand for her first two. Haley Van Lith, the leading scorer for this team, just ahead of Prince, 17.8 on the season.
And Eric, Vonleh 4 shots already, but has only made one of them. She's got to turn and slow down a little bit on these finishes.
Oh, she stuck with it and drew a foul on Prince.
And I'm asking both coaches, key matchup were the bigs. Not as much about the scoring, because yes, they can both fill it up, but they are the mainstays. It's how both coaches dictate the defenses they want to run. So something to watch is who gets in foul trouble first for both teams.
Prince fouled out of the quarterfinal game against Colorado. She picks up her first. Yaya Felder goes to the bench for Baylor, as Aaliyah Matharu will come on, and Vonleh goes to the free throw line, the senior from West Lynn, Oregon, in her first season with Baylor. Selection Sunday for the 2025 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. 1 week away, believe it or not. 68-team field will be revealed next Sunday, 8 Eastern time on ESPN, with a bonus hour of coverage at 9 Eastern on ESPN2.
Well, Eric, if today's the Christmas for women's basketball
Yes.
fans, next Sunday's New Year's Day. It's a fresh season for everyone.
TCU will hear their name called for the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010 next Sunday.
You see Jada Walker trying to deny Haley Van Lith the ball. Great ball movement by TCU out of it.
Just won't drop. Knocked away by Fauntleroy. Amanopu and Matharu fighting for it. Back to the hands of Haley Van Lith. Inside of 5 minutes to go.
You see the trap come again, and now the great rotation by Andrews, but gets called for the foul.
Andrews gets whistled for the foul. It gets us to a media timeout. We're even at 7 opening minutes in KC.
Ella, a year ago was the debut of the Underfrogs. That game a year ago was the foundation of our program. Ella, you've earned a full ride scholarship.
The Underfrogs, as they call them, were part of the 3 walk-ons that were part of the 40-player tryout last season. There were so many injuries that Mark Campbell had to have tryouts to be able to field a team, and what a turnaround he has done with this season. As you look at Ella right there, you know, he said one of his favorite things, maybe more so than coaching, is constructing a roster. And he said, I'm really a people person. I think that's my biggest asset. And when you look at how this team has been built, guys, and you see the chemistry in shoot-around on the field, it's a testament of what he's been able to do with this TCU program.
Chris, you can get well quick in the portal era, but also it doesn't always go to plan in the portal era. The fit has really worked well for TCU, obviously, to be to 30 wins. Remember, 2 years ago, they were 1-17 in the Big 12. Hunter, shot clock violation out of the timeout. Baylor will take over.
Well, Eric, there's one player on this roster who, in terms of the overall rotation, who committed, signed with TCU that did not come from the portal. That's how important it has been. 22-year-old is the average age of this group. 12 players from the portal. And so they got not only filled a roster, they filled a veteran roster. And the pieces have fit. The culture, they fit with one another. And it has worked in spades for TCU.
Started with Prince and Connor, who came over 2 years ago. Van Lith joined the team this year, as did Donovan Hunter, who played at Oregon State, was a starter for the Bees last season. Baylor back the other way, inside of 4 minutes to play in the quarter. And a scramble for the loose ball, jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with Baylor. So here is how it's been put together. Just a partial description of how it's been put together. Remember, Agnes Amanopu was at Stanford, so she has NCAA tournament experience. Last year was her first season with TCU. Last year in this tournament, they only played 6. They were shorthanded all season long, but somehow, some way got to 21 wins. They were 6-12 in the Big 12, but this year 16-2 in the Big 12, and the #1 seed after that win on the final day of the season against Baylor and Waco. Walker with 2 on the shot clock has to heave it. Look what she found.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that was great one-on-one defense by TCU, playing Walker for her left hand to come back. Just better shot by Walker.
Emanopu kicks it over. Taylor Bigby on the floor. That caught the backboard. Prince trying to get the putback, and she was fouled on the way up, and will shoot 2.
Well, Jada Walker's a southpaw, and she was trying to come back with that left hand, and then she just realized, I got to fling it up. And not just fling it up, knock it in.
Transfer portal has been helpful to Baylor as well. Walker was at Kentucky. This is her 2nd year with the Bears. All honorable mention selection in the Big 12 this year. 2nd one to come for Prince. Tonight on ESPN, the Cavs in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. They've won 13 in a row. They're already locked up as the #1 seed in the East. Bucks on a roll. They've won 8 of 10. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown. 7 Eastern, then it's Cavs and Bucks tonight. 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Where so far in this game, it is playing out the way I would expect for 2 teams who know one another so well. Both teams well scouted. They're taking away first, second options and forcing teams to get deep in shot clocks.
Vonleh had to work for it against Prince, and a foul is going to be called. 2 players were down. I think this is going to go on Emanopu for TCU.
Well, shot goes up, and there's a little bit of an arm there by Emanopu. Otherwise, it was just a trip.
As Fauntleroy goes down, but the foul is called on Emanopu. That's her first personal. Andrews sets for 3. Can't get it. Prince just going to let it head out of play, and it'll be TCU basketball. TCU with just 3 losses this season. They lost at Oklahoma State. They led by 15 at halftime in that game. There was a period in the season where TCU was letting leads slip away and having trouble putting teams away. Lost to Kansas State by 9. Their other loss, non-conference, against South Carolina, who won the SEC tournament title for the 3rd time in a row. Inside, it's Emanopu for 2. Here's Matharu. Matharu leans in with the left. Prince with the rebound. And the foul's going to be called on Baylor.
Well, dribble penetration's a neutralizer against any good defense. Starts with Bigby getting 2 feet in the paint off of it, which forced rotation. No one dropped to cover Emanopu for the easy 2.
So the foul, Christy, is on Aaronette Vonleh. No matter how good she's playing, Nikki Collins says, you get a foul, you're coming out, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's twofold. 1, Nikki knows her player well. 2, she knows she has to be able to keep Vonleh on the court across these 40 minutes.
Kyla Abraham played well yesterday in the semifinals in 11 minutes. 6 points, 4 rebounds, is on the floor now for Baylor as we approach 2 minutes to go, first quarter, Big 12 championship. Una Jovanovic is in the game for TCU. Thrown back the other way. Andrews had to sprint after it, tried to save it to Wise Jennings, but lost out of bounds, and it'll be TCU basketball.
I think Baylor's playing a little bit too fast right now. They're trying to score and they're trying to use the athleticism, what Nikki Collins said, but they're already fast. They don't have to be faster. Just stay under control and within the system right now.
Turnover story so far, edge to Baylor. 6 turnovers for TCU, 2 for Baylor, and that's 2 on Fauntleroy. It's a big call right there because Christy mentioned before how important Fauntleroy is to what Baylor is trying to do today.
And we know how important Haley Van Lith is to TCU. She just turns the corner and draws that contact. Huge moment in this game for Baylor.
So 2 fouls in the first quarter for the junior from Springfield, Missouri. And Van Lith to the free throw line. Folks are here again, vocal again today. It's been a busy several months for the Van Lith family. The transfer, of course, from LSU to TCU, but the summer spent in Paris, winning an Olympic medal in 3-on-3 and playing at a high level this year. Now, Haley is in her 4th title game appearance in 5 years. We've been saying the name Haley Van Lith in March for a long, long time in many big games. Walker gets it for 2 for Baylor.
But the key for Haley Van Lith to add to her overall resume, she is yet to have a conference championship, and that's what's on the line here today for Haley Van Lith.
As a freshman with Louisville, lost to NC State in the title game by 2. As a junior at Louisville, lost in the championship game in the ACC to Virginia Tech. And then last year with LSU, falling to South Carolina. Chance to win a title here with TCU. 2-point lead for the Frogs with under a minute to play in the first. Walker. Here's Abraham setting the screen. Walker thought better of it to go up against Sedona Prince, and Prince recovers to get the steal.
Baylor's going to have to read that sooner.
Once again, Baylor all over Van Lith, who throws it up to Prince. Jovanovic on the pull-up, off the window for 2.
Eric, I'm so impressed with how Haley Van Lith is handling the double team so far. She's getting the ball out, keeping 2 committed. That's why her teammates are getting open on the weak side.
Final seconds of the quarter. Here is Walker. Try to feed it to Abraham. Could not. Out of bounds. Turnover by Baylor. TCU ball with 2.5 to go.
What starts with the interception by Sedona Prince.
Heaved up at the buzzer, and that will do it for the end of the quarter. And TCU, the regular season champions, on top by 4 in Kansas City. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
And Eric, I feel good because I'm seeing what Nikki Collins is seeing, and that is her team just needs to take a breath right now. They're getting the shots they want, but you can just tell they're trying to get there too fast. They're trying to get the shots off too fast versus taking controlled, good shots.
When you take a look at the big picture, what's at stake? A championship. That's what Baylor wants here. But also when it comes to the NCAA big picture, their overtime win yesterday was huge over Oklahoma State. We'll talk more about that. I know Charlie's in the studio as well to break down everything. That's knocked out of bounds, and it will be Baylor basketball. See what Baylor is. Number 15 in the net, 3 quad 1 wins. Charlie has them as a 4 seed, 16th overall, and I'd like to hear Charlie talk a little bit more about this at halftime. He says they're locked in no matter what happens here today.
Well, I've been saying this for about 4 weeks, that I don't know that Baylor was getting enough love. They're 9-1 in their last 10. The one loss to this TCU ball club.
And that run started after their other loss to TCU. And that was in Fort Worth. Connor's been quiet so far, gets an open look, and if she gets a little space, watch out. Now 9 threes made here in Kansas City for Madison Connor. Felder, tough one for Vonleh to try to handle.
Well, Eric, as much as we talk about Haley Van Lith and Sedona Prince, let's not forget about the third amigo, Madison Connor, the best three-point shooter in the country, comes around the arc there, gets those feet set. She's going to be money. She
is now 9 of 14 here in this tournament. She's made 117 threes this season. Walker to Vonleh. Vonleh leans in on Prince. No, Hunter comes in for the rebound. And TCU's got it. Van Lith will bring it up.
And Eric, you've heard me talk about Sedona Prince's shot blocking ability. Yes, averaging 3 a game, but it's the number of shots she alters. And I've seen at least 5 altered already in this game.
Van Lith on the cut. Prince just missed her turnover. TCU, that's their 8th. TCU has turned it over a little bit in this season series. 18 turnovers in the first meeting, 16 in the second meeting. Foul's going to be called as Vonleh goes down. Interestingly enough, Nikki Collins' team turned the ball over a total of 10 times in the two meetings. 4 in the first meeting, 6 in the second, yet lost both. In both games right to the final minute, but lost both.
They've been able to get the shots. I talked about it. Started 1 of 10 in the game last Sunday in Waco, and then had a stretch of 1 for 16 to start the fourth. They just get sped up and try to do too much.
TCU tried to do a little bit too much that trip. It ends in a turnover. Felder gets called for the carry, and it'll be another turnover for Baylor. That's their 6th.
I'm looking for a player from Baylor right now to get the team together and just say, take a deep breath. We're okay. They're so sped up right now that you're seeing little miscues like the mishandling on the dribble.
It's a great point. I just saw Jada Walker, one of those players, the point guard out of the court, just telling everybody to slow down, calm down a little bit. And that's what Nikki Collins talked about when she talked to Chris between the quarters. Just slow down. It's going to be a silly foul on Vonleh. 2 personal fouls, and that's a big one for Baylor. And she knows right away. She just starts walking to the bench because she knows she's not going to stay on the floor after picking up her second foul. Nikki Collins won't even look, won't even take a peek at it and walk by.
Well, and Eric, I go back to last Sunday. They hold this TCU team to 51 points. TCU averaging just under 80 points a game. That's good enough to win. It's been the miscues on offense for Baylor. It's been the rush shots. It's been the forcing the challenge shots.
3 on none back the other way. Felder lays it in as Baylor gets points off the turnover. First points for Yaya Felder, 6th player of the year, but she's making her 7th straight start with Little Paige Bugs on the sideline. Great job by Baylor, turning up the defense now. TCU out of rhythm, and Baylor trying to run back. Andrews on the pull-up. Can't get it. Abraham goes to the glass. Prince gets the rebound. Now TCU's a team that needs to slow things down. They've turned it over 4 straight trips, and it's now a 5-point game. Connor skipped over Eminopu. Prince trying to work on Abraham on the turnaround.
Great defense by Abraham.
Great job by Hunter to get a second chance here for TCU. Connor to Van Lith. Van Lith loses the handle, and it will roll out of bounds. It'll be Baylor basketball.
Well, Baylor's always going to give you the effort on defense. Gets on the floor, gets the steal, gets the layup. They need more of that to try to create some offense from their defense because they're struggling in the half court.
5 straight turnovers for TCU. They now have 12 turnovers, yet lead by 5.
Well, some of it's the ball pressure of Baylor. Some of it is just the passes themselves, not leading teammates, sending them in bad angles and positions.
Sorry, Christy Walker in trouble. Gets it back out to Andrews. 7 on the shot clock, and Big B gets called for the foul.
TCU foul number 1, Taylor Big B, the first personal, second team foul.
So you're struggling to score in the half-court offense. Can you generate some offense on your baseline out of bounds? And the big key for Baylor right now, set solid screens, and then just slow down on the shot and on the finish.
Abraham looking to get it to Andrews. Here's Walker. Walker leans in, can't get it, and Prince adds another rebound, already with 8 here in the first half. Prince had 16 rebounds in the victory against West Virginia yesterday. And another turnover because it's an offensive foul called on Big B, her 2nd personal foul.
Well, Eric, there are turnovers, and then there are the kind of turnovers forced that hopefully gives your team a little momentum. Here, Aaliyah Matharo moves her feet. Big B drops that shoulder right in front of the official. We're going the other way.
Christy, TCU is averaging under 12 turnovers a game. They had 12 against West Virginia, a team that turns teams over time and again. 8th in Division I and fewest turnovers a game. Now it's going to be a foul on Walker. But look at TCU already, Christy. They've got 13 turnovers. They had 12 all of yesterday against West Virginia.
Well, Eric, to your point, they came in 8th in the nation in fewest turnovers. And it's just these players trying to do too much right now. We know a championship's on the line. They know a championship is on the line.
Walker picks up her first personal. She'll pick up Van Lith across half court.
Eric, Jada Walker is working so hard in defending Haley Van Lith, trying to keep her from the touch once she gives it up.
Jovanovic back into the game, played a ton last year, was a starter for that shorthanded TCU team, now in reserve. Well, she started the game with a corner three. Now from the opposite corner, Donovan Hunter hits from three again.
As good as this TCU offense has been, it's gone to another level since Donovan Hunter has been inserted into the starting lineup. Allows Haley Van Lith to play off ball, and Hunter's found her stroke from deep as well.
Baylor desperately trying to find their stroke. Abraham on the putback. Before that Abraham putback, Baylor had gone 3 for their last 17 from the field. Abraham with the hoop, her first points. Scramble for the loose ball. Walker touched it last. Beat TCU basketball. But first, a media timeout with 4:29 to go in the first half.
Well, Donovan Hunter only averages 5 points a game, already up to 6 with her 2 made threes. And then Abram gets on the glass. Huge bucket when Baylor needed it.
Her third straight title.
All eyes were on Greenville because everyone wanted to know what would the third time bring between those two growing rivals in the SEC. All eyes on Kansas City because what will the third time bring here in the Big 12?
Zubin and Charlie will be with you at halftime. Go through what happened in the ACC and the SEC. Tell about the impact of this matchup between the top 2 seeds in the Big 12 tournament, TCU and Baylor. Sedona Prince threads the needle, finds Donovan Hunter, who has 8. Prince can score, she can rebound, she can block shots.
She can pass.
And she can pass. Walker back off to Andrews. Wise Jennings, who was an impact player in the semifinal win for Baylor yesterday. That's knocked out of bounds by Matharu. Be TCU ball on the side.
Well, here's what makes TCU so difficult. You focus on Haley Van Lith. You focus on Sedona Prince. You overplay anywhere. They're always moving. That time, Donovan Hunter, the one who's able to score.
Kicked out to Connor. She's got another open look for 3. That's a breakdown for Baylor. You cannot leave Madison Connor wide open and set for a 3, and Nikki Collins going to call a timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. It's now an 11-point lead for the regular season champs. 2 seeds, St. Mary's the number 1 seed. Gales have won 7 in a row. You'll see those semis coming up tomorrow. Here's Walker out of the Baylor timeout. 11-point game right now with Vonleh on the bench with 2 fouls. Fauntleroy on the bench with 2 fouls. Matharu tries to get it off before Prince could get there and knocked out of bounds by Abraham.
And Eric, there's no stat for it, but Jada Walker got to the rim, but couldn't do anything because Sedona Prince was there.
Saw Vonleh on the bench. That's where she's going to be for the final 3:10 of this half. And don't forget Fauntleroy, how important she is to what Baylor wants to do. Opportunity here for TCU to try to extend their lead against these Baylor reserves. Connor's got another open look for 3. Would not drop, and here's Matharu. Has Felder on her right. Matharu's going to take it right at Van Lith and earn a trip to the free throw line. First personal on Haley Van Lith.
And that's what you got to do for Baylor. Get stops, get out and run. If you don't want to have to go against Prince and her ability to rim protect, don't let her get down the floor. Pick up the tempo off of misses and those miscues. To me, the stat right now in this game was the 13 turnovers for TCU, but only 4 points off of it for Baylor.
Right, TCU struggled to take care of the basketball, but Baylor hasn't taken advantage of those TCU mistakes, it feels. So here is Matharu. We talk about additions and transfers for these 2 programs. Leah Matharu made her debut on New Year's Day for Baylor.
So it was a true Christmas gift for the Bears. And Matharu's a player right now, has the experience, has the explosive, has the scoring ability to help cut into this deficit for Baylor.
Also feels like Baylor, it would be a win if they could keep it around 9 or 10 right now, instead of letting TCU get a little separation here with Fauntleroy and Vonleh on the bench with 2. Connor will head to the free throw line after she's fouled on the take to the basket.
So, Eric, how many times are we seeing from TCU? Baylor trying to deny passes. They don't get frustrated. They don't just try to go faster. They use that aggressive defense against Baylor with the back doors.
Madison Connor at the line, shooting 2.
So here is Madison Connor, her second season with TCU after spending her first 2 years with Arizona. She's one of those TCU players who was injured a year ago. She missed 6 games. Been healthy this year, and she has been a shot taker and shot maker. She's got set 8 tonight.
Well, because Madison Connor can knock down the 3 the way she does, it forces defenses to make a decision. You can't help off of her, and that allows the pick and roll offense in the middle third of the court to really excel.
Andrews gets away from Van Lith, but there's Prince for the help. Another shot that she impacted. If she doesn't get credit for a block, she certainly changed it. Connor off to Van Lith, the other way for TCU. Now Matharu all over Van Lith defensively. Van Lith couldn't get it to drop, and Abraham will get it to Andrews. Inside of 2 minutes to play, first half.
Eric, Baylor either needs to just start doing some 2-foot jump shots short of Prince, or they've got to be able to finish 3 of 9 on shots at the rim so far in this game.
Abraham got a hand on it. TCU gets the rebound and out quickly to Connor.
Mismatch down low.
Ooh, mistake by TCU, and again another turnover. Can Baylor get some points off the turnover? Look who's back first. It's Prince. Felder's in trouble. Jump ball, possession arrow will give it to TCU. Time and again, TCU has given the basketball to Baylor, but the Bears don't know what to do with it.
14 turnovers now for TCU, and we're still stuck on 4 points off of it for Baylor. Felder wanted to try to get to the rim, but once again, Sedona Prince back there to protect it for TCU.
Just 4 points off those 4 turnovers, as you mentioned, Christy. 14 turnovers. Beautifully done inside. Aaliyah Robertson gets her first points of the game. 7 different scores for TCU here in the first half. They lead by 13.
And Baylor's got to start talking. They're separating right now because out of frustration. They've got to come together, especially right now, because TCU's ready to blow this thing open.
Advantage back the other way with Abraham behind the play. Robertson works at the Prince. Abraham's back defensively. Prince couldn't get it the first time. That knocked out of her hands by Felder. Baylor will wisely settle things down. About 5 seconds or so between the shot clock and the game clock. Andrews defended by Hunter. Hunter, according to Mark Campbell, the best defender on this TCU team. Work down low, well done by Andrews, working with Abraham. 4 seconds, Hunter to Prince. Prince will have a look at it at the buzzer, and that will do it for the first half. TCU with an 11-point lead at halftime. I think if you told TCU you turned the ball over 14 times in the first half, they would not believe they were up by 11, but they have that double-digit lead at the break, and Haley Van Lith is with Chris.
Haley, defensively, to hold them to 17, and the way you're making them have to speed up, what has worked defensively for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we're sticking to the scout, we're playing personnel, and then we're boxing out and rebounding. Baylor's a great offensive rebounding team, and we're doing a good job so far keeping them to 1 shot.
The 14 turnovers is uncharacteristic. How do you fix that in the second half?
Just be poised. I think we're a little bit frantic right now because of the environment, but we'll be fine. Just play, pass, and catch, and we'll be good.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pass and catch sounds so simple. She's been doing it for 5 years. I have a feeling she'll help TCU figure things out. They're still in front by 11 at halftime. Zubin and Charlie coming up. Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center. Championship Sunday continues. TCU trying to pick up their first Big 12 tournament championship. They're on top by 11 at halftime. Eric Free, Christy Thomas-Scuddy back with you at courtside. I don't think anyone would have thought, even the diehard TCU fan, that TCU would be in the conversation for a regular season title or a tournament title 2 years ago when they went 1-17 in conference play. They're doing it here today because everybody's had a hand in their success in the first half.
Well, I think it speaks to the culture of TCU that this is about team. Only 8 combined points from Haley Van Lith and Sonona Prince, and it has not mattered for TCU because the two stars are sharing the ball. Double's been coming at Haley Van Lith. She's found open teammates. 3 of the 4 made threes for TCU in that first half were because they caught Baylor in rotations out of the double team on Haley Van Lith. What's been great is that TCU is cutting well without the ball. They're moving the ball. They're forcing Baylor to chase them all over in the half-court defense.
That was Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal. And we take a look at our star track. Erinette Vonleh held to just 10 minutes because of 2 personal fouls in the first half. She scored just 4 points, and Haley Van Lith did not leave the court in the first half. She had 4. Vonleh and Fauntleroy both out there, of course, to start the half, and they look to Vonleh right away out of the locker room. This is going to be key for Baylor. Can Vonleh and Fauntleroy stay on the floor long enough here in these opening minutes of the third quarter to make this a tight game?
And when they are on the floor, can they make their presence felt? Don't waste the minutes right now. Make TCU fear you.
And a foul's going to be called on Jada Walker. Let's check in with Chris Budden.
Spoke with Nikki Collin coming out of halftime. Their message to her ladies was, you got to play hard. You got to play with heart. I don't care how tired you are. You have 20 minutes left to compete. That includes slowing down on the offensive end. We've got to be able to move the ball better. So we can't expect to win if we're only going to get 6 points off 15 turnovers. Defensively, she says there's been some missed assignments on switches. Have to be able to follow the defensive scheme.
And Chris, Nikki told us pregame, she said our focus since the loss last Sunday has been on cutting and screening without the ball. I know she was not pleased with that. Are we going to see better effort here in the second half?
And then you saw the breakdown on defense, just as Chris was mentioning that allowed Van Lith to score and put TCU back on top by 11. Their largest lead in the first half was 13. Hunter was a big part of the offense. She had 2 threes and had 8 points in that first half. Now she throws it into the backcourt, and this will be another turnover for TCU. 16 for the Frogs, again averaging under 12 a game. You can see Baylor defense is their forte.
And if I'm Nikki Collin and someone would have told me that at halftime Sonona Prince would only have 4 points, Haley Van Lith would only have 4 points, I would be ecstatic with my defense. The problem is it's the team offense of TCU, sharing the ball, moving the ball. They're not getting stagnant at all by the double teams.
They just took it at Prince, and Prince picked up her 2nd personal foul on the drive by Andrews. Even if Prince picked up 2 fouls in the first half, Mark Campbell would most likely leave her on the floor. That's the way he's worked it with his veterans this year. So 2 fouls early in the third quarter, not a concern or issue for the moment.
Well, he played Donovan Hunter last Sunday with 3 fouls in the first half. So definitely a coach who trusts his players to make the right decisions.
Hunter's one of the young players on the team, one of 2 sophomores on the roster. There are no freshmen on this TCU roster. Veteran group, as Christy mentioned before, average age about 22 and a half years old.
And Baylor going to the matchup zone now.
Let's see how they attack it. Hunter throws it up to Connor. Connor's eyes get wide when she sees a zone. Can't hit it. Prince fighting for the rebound. And she was hit. Walker was in the mix there. If it's on Walker, it's her 2nd. No, it's Fauntleroy. It's her 3rd. That's a big foul.
I was about to say, if I'm Jada Walker, I'm holding my hand up,
yes,
trying to draw that foul, not let it be given to Fauntleroy.
Fauntleroy had a couple of fouls called against her yesterday that would be questionable. That's 4 on Fauntleroy.
Well, and this is a rotation now for Baylor. We have not seen yet here in Kansas City. Abraham coming in at the 4 spot, so going a little bit bigger now for Baylor.
Fighting inside, Vonleh, and a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, like I said, Vonleh's got to make her impact felt while she's on the floor. Clears out space for this offensive rebound. Goes through the contact.
Just want to clean up Fauntleroy, Christie. She picked up that foul just 28 seconds into the third quarter. So that was on Fauntleroy. Now she gets her fourth. So that jumped out quickly here on Baylor. All defensive team member in the Big 12 on the bench. Vonleh on the floor. Abraham comes on and knocked out of bounds. It will be TCU basketball. Well, Vonleh had the huge game yesterday, 37 points. Her previous career high was 25 when she played for Colorado. Had 12 points, 5 rebounds, fouled out, just played 20 minutes in the opener against Iowa State.
Well, you knew Hailey Van Lith wasn't going to stay this quiet too long, and so she turns the corner this time on Jada Walker, and sometimes you just got to let it go. Jada Walker didn't need to compound getting beat off the bounce with that foul.
So that will be 2 on Walker, 2 on Vonleh, 2 on Matharu, 4 on Fauntleroy for Baylor, and Van Lith at the free throw line to shoot 2. The Big 12 Player of the Year, Hailey Van Lith, makes them both. We had a chance to talk to Hailey after both wins in this tournament, and always quick to give credit and praise to her teammates. No way she says she'd be Player of the Year were it not for how it's worked so well with Sedona Prince, who was under consideration, of course, for Player of the Year.
Hailey Van Lith, the epitome of leadership this season, always looking for her teammates, always looking about what's best for this team.
And now looking for a teammate to distribute to as she brings it off the Baylor turnover. Connor for Emanopu. Baylor extending the defense. Connor threw it over the top and threw it away. That's the 17th turnover for TCU. Here's Chris.
It's such an integral part to this team, but Mark Campbell described her when she got to Fort Worth as wounded. Just everything that had happened the year previously at LSU. Said the best thing for her was that the Paris Olympics started right away. She played in the 3-on-3 basketball. She was working out 3 times a day. That allowed her mind to get back to basketball. But last year was something she still never forgets. She said, I think some people go through things, they forget about it. I never forget. I remembered what I learned in those lowest moments of my life.
Well, here's what I know about Hailey Van Lith coming out of Fort Worth right now. She is better defensively. She is better off the bounce than she's ever been. She's become a better screener. Every aspect of her game is better. I think she's making quicker decisions. She's making better decisions, playing at an all-time high of her career.
A lot of people talk about the intangibles, like the leadership, and she said this week, it's hard to lead a group that doesn't want to be led. And that's why it's worked so well, because you've got some selfless play going on for TCU. That's the reason why they've won 30 games for the first time in program history. Emanopu with the foul, her second personal, and Abraham at the stripe for Baylor. So some big moments again here for Kyla Abraham. She played 11 yesterday against Oklahoma State in the overtime game, had 6 points, 4 rebounds. You've got Fauntleroy in foul trouble. She's come on for Vonleh already today. So the junior from Virginia, who averaged 12 minutes a game this season, playing some big minutes here in the postseason.
And so Baylor staying in the matchup zone.
Emanopu launches for 3. There's Van Lith in the right place for the rebound, and a second chance here for TCU.
And here's the bottom line. This is a matchup zone, so Baylor does have a box out responsibility when that shot goes up. That time, players did not go to find their player to box out. Hence, TCU with another opportunity.
3 on the shot clock. Emanopu got it to Prince. And the foul. Sedona Prince a chance for a 3-point play.
I love that Emanopu put the ball on the ground against the matchup. Forced rotations. That's why Prince was open on the weak side for the dump.
Prince took a moment to celebrate and then remembered who got her the basketball. It was Agnes Emanopu with the dish. And Prince at the free throw line to try to finish off the 3-point play. Rebound for Abraham.
Vonleh's asking for the ball, carving out, positioning, and finishes.
And carving up on the inside with the left hand.
If I'm Baylor, I go early offense every time. Get Vonleh to sprint the floor, get the early positioning, and feed her the ball.
She's into double figures now with 10. Van Lith. Gets help from Connor, who's back on the floor. 8 on the shot clock, and Abraham comes out. Little too much contact on Connor.
Well, Aaronette Vonleh sprints the floor, and that puts Prince on her backside, and then she just keeps her there. Great positioning by the center for Baylor.
Una Jovanovic, the senior from California, comes back onto the floor for TCU. And Van Lith's going to get a rest here with 5:36 to go. The media timeout coming up.
I just heard Mark Campbell say to Sedona Prince, hold your positioning, make her make a jumper. He was talking about Aaronette Vonleh.
Andrews. Yaya Felder. She'll launch for a 3 and make it. Yaya for 3. Had 2 points in the first half. First points of the second half for the senior from Hartford, Connecticut. And Baylor within 7. Prince, remember Van Lith on the bench right now for TCU. Let's see how the offense flows. Eminopu tries to take it at Vonleh. 5 on the shot clock. Not much happening right now for the Frogs. Jovanovic traveled. Turnover number 18 for TCU, and maybe a little momentum building for the Baylor Bears, down by 7 in the Big 12 championship game. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team.
Nikki brought this up. Can we please stop flying out at 5 and 21, leaving our beat right down? They're trying to drive us and dump it and cut. Okay? Come on.
Don't give up 3-point plays. She makes it.
First voice you heard was Tony Green, assistant coach for Baylor, handles the defense, gets things organized on that end. Where do you think Baylor is right now in this game? Because they fell behind double digits, their largest deficit 13, but it feels like even with Fauntleroy on the bench with 4 fouls, door creeping open a little bit here for the Bears.
Absolutely. I think the defense is staying steady for Baylor. What I see, the biggest difference is Baylor is starting to feed Vonleh the ball, and you just see right now there's a little bit more pep to Baylor. I'm seeing a little bit more connectivity on both ends of the court for the Bears right now than I did in the first half.
It's their possession out of the media timeout. Here's Felder. Felder back to Walker. Walker on the pull-up. That one is short, and Eminopu's got the rebound. An area that is offsetting the turnover problems for TCU. They're -9 in turnover margin. They're a +15 in rebounding margin. These are the 2 top teams in the Big 12 when it comes to rebounding margin. Huge edge for TCU. Prince underneath against Vonleh. Inside of 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Big 12 championship. Top 2 teams in the Big 12. Sarah Andrews gets the roll. Andrews was big in the first game in Fort Worth, went for 21 points, sparked a Baylor comeback. They were down 22 in that game on the road, ended up losing by 5, but in the rematch, she was 0 of 7 from the field, had just 1 point. TCU doesn't waste any time getting the roll on the other end, back to a 10-point lead. Hunter.
Well, it looked like Baylor went to a box and 1 and did not matter. Donovan Hunter just making good plays right now.
Hunter's got the rebound. Hunter is 3 for 3 outside the 3-point line.
Well, I was going to say earlier when we were talking about the age of TCU, Hunter's playing like a veteran as well. She has transitioned in this system, and in the last month has just taken her game to a whole nother level.
Before the shot, Van Lith is fouled.
Well, Eric, Haley Van Lith is not getting rattled by the double teams. Attacks it, keeps her dribble, finds Prince under the basket. And then Donovan Hunter saying, hey, if you're not going to guard me, I'm going to make you pay. And she's holding the follow through just a little bit longer.
Wouldn't you? Or you have?
She's making winning plays. I never had the swagger of Hunter. I never had a game like Hunter, first of all.
Hunter has got more accuracy from beyond the three-point line than she did during the season. Entering this game here today, she's a perfect 3 for 3 today, 30% on the season, Christy, and she was 2 for 6 in the first 2 games here in Kansas City. So she is stepping up and stepping up large in the Big 12 championship game.
And this is so reminiscent of the 2 regular season games with these two. TCU gets the lead. Baylor makes runs. TCU responds. Can Baylor put together a sustained run now?
Vonleh, when she was following through after that miss, I think she stepped on the official's foot. No, she turned her foot there, and then here I think she rolled it as well as she came down on Sedona Prince.
No, she did come down on the official's foot.
Yeah, I think she caught a little of Prince too, and then just to make sure each ankle was affected, she hit the official.
She's good.
She looks good, and the way she's been playing, it's going to take more than a little ankle turn to get her off the floor. Vonleh was perfect from the free throw line yesterday, and here she is again helping Baylor at the line. 10-point game.
And Eric, the switch now is Vonleh on Agnes Imanopu. Vonleh's going to have to come out and defend around the perimeter because Abraham is now on Sedona Prince.
Walker gets a little too aggressive and gets whistled for her 4th personal foul. That's going to bring Sarah Andrews into the game. So you have 2 Baylor players with 4 before we get to the 4th quarter.
And that's a huge blow for Baylor because Walker was the one primarily defending Haley Van Lith in this game.
Walker heads to the bench. Fauntleroy picked up her 4th personal foul with 8:09 to go in this 3rd quarter. TCU was 11 of 15 from the line against West Virginia. They've upped that here today. Now 14 of 15 from the free throw line as Van Lith makes 2 more. 2:20 to go in the quarter. Felder, good take, gets the contact, and will go to the line to shoot a couple.
And that's the scouting report against Yaya Felder. You got to contain her dribble penetration because when she can get going downhill with that right hand, she's very difficult to contain.
So for the first time, a TCU player has a little foul issue. It's Haley Van Lith who picks up her 3rd personal. And Felder at the line for Baylor.
Well, in true point guard head coach fashion, Haley doesn't even look at Mark Campbell, and Mark Campbell's not even looking at Haley Van Lith. Not even acknowledging 3 fouls. Just keep playing.
Felder rattles it in. She's got 7. Vonleh leading the way with 12 for Baylor. Here's Prince.
Send a back screen for Prince after she sets this on ball, but Baylor blows up the play.
Van Lith back out to Hunter. Prince trying to box and post inside against Abraham. Hunter to Imanopu. Connor, a contested 3. Well off the mark, and Andrews has it. Was looking for Felder for just a moment up the court. Abraham. Felder, little hesitation. Circles all the way around, ducks inside, gets the basket, and the foul.
I'm just going to ask for more Yaya if I'm a Bears fan because she's getting the ball in her and she's not killing the dribble and she's refusing to be stopped. Goes all the way around, waits for a break between the defense and gets to the rim.
Foul on Connor, her first. Felder gets another one to roll in. 3-point play. 10 points for Yaya. Had scored 9 total in the first 2 games of this tournament. tough take, won't drop, but she'll head back to the free throw line where she is perfect today. Reminder, West Coast Conference Men's Championship quarterfinals today. Santa Clara and Pepperdine and San Francisco and Washington State getting buys to the semifinals. #1 seed St. Mary's and Gonzaga. You'll see those two quarterfinals. ESPN2. In women's hoop, Duke with an impressive come-from-behind victory to knock off NC State for the ACC championship.
Talk about a tale of two halves for Duke. It's what we've known all along. Duke will defend, but then they got the offense going in transition and from deep here.
There's Felder. She's feeling it right now. Yaya getting heated up. In her career, she's gone for 40. Did that against Central Michigan when she played for Ohio University. Her season high 20 against Indiana. Having one of her better games right now. Here's Van Lith. Van Lith will look for two. Most of the scoring has come from the free throw line for Haley Van Lith, but knocks down the field goal. She's got 16.
She made a very difficult shot look so easy.
12 of her 16 in the second half. Shot clock is off. Baylor will hold for one. You're wondering where Yaya is. She's at the top of the screen, watched by Van Lith. Andrews, how about this? Taking it at Prince. And a foul is going to be called on Sedona Prince. That'll be her third personal foul.
I was worried for Baylor because I was looking at Abraham and Von Leyen. They were looking at one another and both shrugging shoulders. I don't know if Abraham really knew what the play was supposed to be, but great job by Sarah Andrews to make something out of it.
Andrews to the line. Good three-point shooter at 37%, but it's been a struggle from the free throw line. 52% for the fifth year from Irving, Texas. 4-year starter for Baylor after coming off the bench as a freshman. She spent her entire career with the Bears. That will do it for the third quarter. It is a single-digit game heading to the fourth. Baylor is down by 8. Can they win their 12th Big 12 tournament championship? Will TCU win their first? The regular season champs are on top, heading to the fourth. Well, sounds like Mark Campbell has seen this play before, because when you think back to the two meetings, Christy Thomas-Gutty, January 26th, Baylor was down 22 in the third quarter. They came back, they made it a one-possession game in the final minute. The most recent game, March 2nd, Big 12 regular season title on the line. Yaya Felder had a couple of buckets late. She had a shot that tied in the final seconds, but it was a three-point win for TCU. Baylor's been good in the fourth quarter of the two meetings in the regular season. Here we go in the fourth quarter.
Well, Baylor's usually good in the fourth quarter because of their defense.
Prince, once, twice, the third time for Sedona Prince. She has not left the game today. She's played the full 30-plus.
Nor should she, because she's impacting both ends of the floor. Set play being called from Mark Campbell out of the break. Great execution, and even better job of Sedona Prince staying with it.
Abraham rolls to the basket. She tripped and lost the basketball. Turnover for Baylor, number 10 for the Bears. TCU did a better job taking care of the ball in that quarter. 4 turnovers in the quarter after 14 in the first half for TCU.
And Haley Van Lith just attacking the double now.
Van Lith, that's the first miss from 3 for Hunter. Prince tapped it to Andrews. Andrews splitting defenders, trying to return it to Von Ley. Couldn't get it to drop. Connor got a piece of it. Here's Hunter up ahead to Van Lith. Van Lith thought about going one-on-one on Abraham. Now on the switch on Von Ley.
From one post to another post on Van Lith.
So you see the 2 posts out on Van Lith. You wonder who's defending Sedona Prince in that situation, and a foul is called on Baylor.
I don't think Haley Van Lith was looking to pass at that time. She knew she had the matchup she wanted. She was looking to take the big off the bounce.
Van Lith to Connor. Top of the key, can't get the 3, and Abraham's got the rebound. Remember, Bella Faleroy on the bench, picked up 4 fouls early in that third quarter. Vonleh throws it in with the left hand. 14 points for Ernest Vonleh. 10 coming in the second half.
And it seems so simple what Baylor's doing, but Vonleh is going, sprinting the floor, getting the positioning, and good job by the perimeter players to find her.
Van Lith will launch a three. Little too strong, and here's Felder. Felder had the good third quarter. Scored 10 points in the quarter for Baylor. Andrews. Felder will launch for three. Hunter's got the rebound.
Eric, both posts are sucking wind right now. Sedona Prince as well as Vonleh breathing really hard.
We haven't seen Deasia Merrill for TCU today. She usually buys a little rest for Prince. But a championship's on the line here today, so I don't know if Prince is going to leave the floor as long as she avoids foul trouble, setting a couple of screens out top. Connor kicks to the corner. Emma Nopu, Matharu recovers defensively. Good job by Aaliyah Matharu on the D, but then she makes contact and gets called for the foul. That's 4 on Matharu.
And on cue, here comes Bella Fauntleroy to give Vonleh a break.
Okay, so Fauntleroy, who picked up that fourth foul with 8:09 to go in the third. She's been on the bench for a while. Wise Jennings will come on for Baylor, for Matharu, who picked up her fourth. Yaya Felder thought she was going out, but Yaya doesn't have 4 fouls. Exactly. She's got just 2. Yaya, you're out there with the 2. Here's Agnes Emanopu. Oh, we talked to Mark Campbell today. You always wonder, like, okay, is there a future coach on your roster? He had to think a bit, and he said maybe Jovanovic, you know, she's a real thinker. And we said, well, who's your future neuroscientist on the roster? And quickly, Agnes Emanopu was the answer on that one because she got her undergrad degree in 3 years in that field at Stanford. That's going to be Hunter getting called for the foul. There is Agnes. Did not play in the opener against Colorado, dealing with a little bit of a shoulder problem. Sounded like it was more preventative than anything else. She looked good against West Virginia, and she's been on the floor a lot here today.
And Agnes doesn't even have to score to impact this TCU ball club. She sets screens, she handles the ball, she dribble penetrates and sets teammates up. But yes, she can knock down the three and she can create off the bounce as well.
Andrews for 3. They're going to go to the monitor here. Right now it's called a 2 on the court. Called a 2, but the officials indicated they want to review it on the monitor at the next media timeout.
Andrews is trying to deny Haley Van Lith the ball.
Abraham out on top 2 with Andrews. Emanopu for Prince. Prince working on Abraham, batted around and controlled by Andrews. Here's Andrews to the basket. Strong, aggressive take by Sarah Andrews. The grad student gets the drop, and TCU is within 6. .11 now for Andrews. Van Lith with the blow-by for 2.
And Eric, there's so much pressure on a defense. Haley Van Lith starting to get downhill. Wise Jennings should have rotated off, but because Hunter's been so good from 3, she had to stay with her.
Hunter is going to get called for the foul. That's going to be her 4th personal foul. So now Mark Campbell is going to have to make a decision. So we've got some clock issues. The clock that you see on the screen says 6:26. The one in the arena says 5:49. Our shot clock says 28. The one in the arena says 20.
No one wants this game to end, so they just stop the clock.
Well, with the players piling up the fouls, I don't know if we can afford an extended game for these two teams right now. 3 with 4 fouls for Baylor. Fauntleroy, Matharu, Jada Walker. Hunter with 4 fouls for TCU. Feels like they're almost trying to reset things here. Our clock that you see on the screen is tied into the arena clock, so there's a little breakdown. You can see Hunter staying on the floor right now with those 4 personal fouls, number 4. Still says 5:49 in the building with 20 on the shot clock. I think Mark Campbell is getting assistance from those wearing purple in the stands about what the clock should read right now.
I appreciate Mark telling his fans, hey, calm down, we got this.
Yeah, he turned around and said, I got it. I'll be the voice for the Frogs here. No. Okay, it's set. 20 on the shot clock. Everything is working again, and Sarah Andrews is working again. Back to a 6-point game. Van Lith, and that's going to be a traveling violation. Turnover number 19 for the Frogs.
Well, I've said it all game long. With Baylor's struggle to score in the half-court offense, score on the baseline out of bounds. Great job of Andrews going against the grain.
And going against Hunter, who has to let her go, remember, with the 4 personal fouls. So Hunter is guarding Andrews right now. Does Baylor look for her? Instead, they look inside to Vonleh. 4-point game. Inside of 5 minutes to go, Hunter to Emanopu. Van Lith with the deep 2. Rebound for Felder. Up for Andrews. Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy is fouled on the drive by Emanopu, and she'll go to the free throw line when we come back to Kansas City.
Well, Eric, Aaronette Vonleh is up to 16 points in this game, doing her work before she gets the feeds.
Be handed out to either TCU or Baylor after we're done. 4:33 to go in the 4th quarter in what is now a 4-point game, as TCU has been outscored by 7 rather, here in the second half. You can see the breakdown so far for TCU. 4 in double figures, led by Van Lith with 18, perfect from the free throw line. Prince with another double-double for Sedona. That's her 15th double-double and the 31st of her career.
And Eric, that last piece on the graphic about Vonleh, she was 1 of 7 in the first half with 4 points. Second half, she's been really, really good. 5 of 6 from the field.
First points of the game for Fauntleroy, makes it a 2-point game. Pressure from Baylor out of the made free throws. Here's Hunter playing with 4 personals. Hand off to Van Lith. Eight on the shot clock. Van Lith kicks back outside. Emanopu from her knees. Hunter comes up short, and Fauntleroy has the rebound. Baylor can tie or take the lead. 4 minutes to go in the 4th. They look for Vonleh for the tie. Vonleh has it hit cleanly by Sedona Prince out of bounds. It will be Baylor basketball.
And Eric, Agnes Emanopu sprinted back in transition defense. Otherwise, Vonleh would have had a layup to start with. Instead, she was challenged by Prince, and Prince got the block.
Sedona Prince came in with 98 blocks on the season after the semifinal win. Vonleh determined to take it at Prince, and she does. We're tied at 57 in the 4th.
If I'm Haley Van Lith, I go right at Fauntleroy, knowing she has the 4 fouls.
There is Fauntleroy D'ing up on Van Lith. The entry pass. Prince against Vonleh for 2. Vonleh has it knocked away by Prince, but then it went off the foot of Emanopu. It will remain with Baylor, 21 on the shot clock.
Vonleh now up to 18 points in this game. None of them have been easy because she's had to score over Prince. And then Prince gives her a little taste of her own medicine on the other end.
Andrews defended by Hunter as we approach 3 minutes to play in the fourth.
Double stagger for Yaya.
Felder defended by Van Lith. Looking for Vonleh away from the basket. Now Felder. Felder takes it at Prince. Throws it up, hoping that someone is there. Vonleh could not hold on to it. It'll be TCU basketball.
See the double going against Hunter.
Emanopu, an experienced group of TCU players, handle pressure pretty well, and they get it across half court.
Well, Eric, here's the other thing. When you have experience, you realize what fatigue is, and you shut it out, and you get back to basics, and you do the little things correctly.
Hunter tries for the three, can't get it. Vonleh doesn't leave her feet for the rebound and has it taken away by Emanopu. Reset to 20. Shot clock now down to 10. Mark Campbell hot on the sidelines, something that his team's not doing right now. Van Lith will try to do something, and there's a whistle before the shot. No basket. Foul called on Baylor.
Well, Mark Campbell was upset with Emanopu because he had a play in mind, but he couldn't get her there. But he's got to be pleased with the effort. Doesn't give up on that rebound. It just rips it away from Vonleh to extend the play for TCU.
Wise Jennings checks out of the game. Here comes Jada Walker. She has 4 personal fouls. Jennings picked up the personal, her first. Now Walker trying to defend Van Lith. Vonleh there to help. Here's Prince back outside to Hunter. And a reset here for TCU inside of 2 minutes to go. Hunter off the dribble. Connor, mid-range jumper, no. Emanopu out of nowhere got the rebound and a second chance opportunity for TCU. Van Lith near midcourt. 5 on the shot clock. Emanopu. Prince had it knocked away by Andrews. 3.1 to shoot. They are going to go to the monitor and take a look to see who should have possession. We can tell you what's coming up here in Kansas City. The men's championship starting on Tuesday. Houston, the #1 seed. Back with more in a minute.
The previous play is under review. The call on the floor is to...
All right, call confirmed. Last touched by Baylor, so it will be TCU basketball. And there's 3.1 on the shot clock. What should we look for here from TCU, Chris?
Well, Mark Campbell ended that timeout saying this is where we show our championship fight, but we have to be smart. Crash the glass and box out.
Hunter to trigger the inbound. Finds Connor. Great defense. Yaya Felder got the clean block. Well done by Baylor out of the timeout. And here they come across half court down by 2. Fauntleroy. Andrews. Vonleh. Turns on Prince. Vonleh has it taken away by Hunter.
No need to foul here by Baylor. They just need to get a stop. Just a 1-possession game.
Final minute. Van Lith gets by Walker all the way to the basket. Timeout, Baylor. I hope Haley's dad is pacing himself because he's all in right now. Haley Van Lith puts TCU up by 4. Let's look at tonight's dynamic play of the game. Brought to you by T. Rowe Price. It's the Dynamo, Haley Van Lith.
Well, she knew she had to step on Walker and cut the angle to keep Walker on her backside. Huge bucket for Haley Van Lith. 16 points here in the second half, up to 20 for the game, and no one loves it more than Dad.
24 in the quarterfinal win against Colorado, 19 against West Virginia, and now 20 here today in the championship game. We told you before her personal motivation, playing in a championship game for the 4th time in her career. She's never won a tournament championship. .8 to go, inbound to Walker.
Baylor just needs a score here. They don't need a 3.
Looks like it's Walker wants to do it. Emanopu got there with the defense. Gets the block. It will be Baylor basketball.
Emanopu just keeps making winning plays for TCU. Again, Baylor just needs to look for a quick score. It doesn't have to be a 3.
Andrews, their best 3-point shooter. Hovering around the line, they enter it to Vonleh. Dribbles away from the basket. Now back to Fauntleroy, posting up on Emanopu. Prince comes in to help to take it away.
Now Baylor must foul.
Yaya Felder gives the foul to Van Lith, who's 10 for 10 from the free throw line today. But it's not bonus time yet. That's only 4 on Baylor, so it's still going to be an inbound situation for TCU.
I'm surprised TCU's not calling timeout to advance the ball here.
Here's Hunter. And a timeout being called by TCU. Shot clock is off, 24.1 to go. 30-second timeout, so the teams will huddle briefly, and it will be TCU ball on the baseline. Let's reset it. 1 foul to give for TCU. 2 timeouts remaining for Baylor. That will help them advance the basketball in what is now a 2-possession game. And here in the 4th.
Eric, if you're Baylor, you're trying to get a turnover. Ideally, don't even let the ball inbound so no time's going off the clock. As soon as it's inbounded, though, you're going for the quick steal. If not, you must foul. And ideally, try to keep the ball out of Haley Van Lith's hands because she's been so good from the free throw line.
TCU will bring this starting 5 onto the floor. That's help raise them to new heights. Never before seen at Fort Worth. 30 wins, 3 losses, 7 quad 1 wins. Hoping for a 2 seed with a win here today when they hear their name called on Selection Sunday in 1 week. Now you've got 4 on the baseline here. Hunter to trigger the inbound. They look for Van Lith in the slot, and she throws it up to Hunter.
And it's keep away.
And Hunter gets fouled. And we have a timeout for TCU in the backcourt before the foul was given by Baylor.
So based on my calculations, the steal by Prince was, well, the last foul was at 25 seconds.
Now that's what the officials have to huddle up for now, to see how much time they have to get it across half court, because the officials go off the shot clock.
Correct.
Primarily, and the shot clock is turned off.
Well, based on stat broadcast, the foul committed by Yaya was at 25 seconds. So to me, it should be at 15 that they have to get it across by.
Tell you what, Lisa Jones is going to inbound right in front of you. So Christy, maybe she'll tell you how much time they have to get it across half court. TCU basketball on the side.
My quick math was on point this time. They have 4 seconds to get it across.
You are in champ week form. So
I'm thinking Haley's going to curl here, and they're trying to lead her to the front court to avoid.
Yeah, it may not seem like a big thing. 15.6 is the time to watch for the game clock here, according to the officials. And it has to be in hand across half court. Ooh, Van Lith tiptoeing on the sidelines, and she stepped on the sidelines. So it will be Baylor basketball, 2-possession game, 18.5 to go. And it looks like Baylor's going to take a timeout. Inbound should be right near midcourt. Yeah, there she is. You can see that foot on the white
and Eric,
from her right leg.
It was right play, right idea. It's just Haley went wide on the curl because of the double team. That's what forced her to the sideline and the turnover.
18.5 2-possession game. Do you look for a 3 right now for Baylor, or the quickest, best shot you could find?
I go for the 3 here because you only have the 1 timeout left. You don't waste time, though, trying to go elaborate to get the 3. It is about quick score first and foremost.
It was an 8-point deficit at the end of the third quarter for Baylor. They've made it a game again. The 3rd time these two teams meet this season. Late January in Fort Worth, there was a 5-point win for TCU, ending a 37-game losing streak in the series to Baylor, their first win over the Bears since 1990. And then for good measure, they went to Waco March 2nd with the regular season championship, #1 seed on the line. And TCU won it by 3 for their first win in Waco since 1990. Now looking for their first ever Big 12 tournament championship, but it's Baylor basketball, and they'll inbound it near the Baylor bench. 18.5 to go. Here's Andrews, their best 3-point shooter. Andrews drops it back. Vonleh. Vonleh's going to put it on the deck, take it to the basket for 2, and a timeout's going to be called by TCU. They'll advance it into the front court with 11.2 to go. 2-point game.
Hats off to Nikki Collins, because in all the film I've watched, I hadn't quite seen Vonleh with the dribble penetration from the 3 as time was getting skinny.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and she's been playing great.
Well, Vonleh has not disappointed if you're a Bears fan at all today. Got downhill, knew she was by Prince, and here's the thing. You know TCU doesn't want to foul, so get to the rim, get the 2 points, extend this game.
She's got 20 tonight. 8th time this year she's gone for 20 or more. So 11.2 to go. Remember, Baylor's got the issues with the fouls, with Fauntleroy with 4 and Walker with 4. We'll see who they bring onto the floor, knowing that if they can't get a steal here, they're going to have to foul pretty quickly.
Well, she's going with her core that have all the foul trouble. So that says to me they're trying to get the steal here.
Matharu also on the floor here with 4. So you've got 3 with 4 out there right now. A lot of quickness there with Matharu on the court as Hunter will trigger the inbound on the sideline.
And they're double teaming Haley Van Lith, trying to prevent her from getting the ball.
Passed into Connor, who lost it out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by Baylor. They will go to the monitor here to check possession and also check time. Right now the clock reads 10.4 to go in the 4th.
The previous play is under review. The call on the floor is to TCU.
It looked like Matharu with that left hand. She gave it the push. Connor had possession briefly, but I think it was helped out there by Matharu.
And Eric, the fact that Connor kept coming towards the ball is the only reason that if this play stands, because she didn't stop short. That's what forced the contact, but yet off of Baylor, in my opinion.
Connor definitely touched it first. The call on the floor is that Matharu touched it last, and that's key here, because even if they go through it and they don't see enough to overturn it, the call on the floor stands, and the call right now is TCU basketball.
Well, I think the good thing for Nikki Collins right now is she can get her defense set without having to call a timeout, without having to do anything. Obviously, on the flip side, same thing for Mark Campbell. If it's his ball, it's going to be right in front of his bench.
Another factor here, too, and it is confirmed.
The call on the floor stands. The clock will be adjusted to 10.9.
Okay, so a clock correction as well. So the call stands. 5/10 put on the clock. 10.9 to go.
And you see TCU now go to a stack, and that makes it more difficult to try to double team Haley Van Lith.
Here's Hunter to Connor, and Connor is fouled. Matharu and Andrews there. Let's see who they gave it to. They're going to give it to Andrews, which is good news for Matharu. That's just 2 on Andrews. And Madison Connor will go to the free throw line. 83%, #1 free throw shooter for this team. As a team tonight, TCU 18 of 19 from the free throw line. One of 2, one possession game, and a timeout called by Baylor. Great opportunity here for the Bears. 8.8 to go. They'll advance it into the front court. Nikki Collin quickly drawing up a play for what would be a game-tying three-pointer.
And Eric, Nikki already knows the play she wants. She was over there halfway diagramming before they even snapped that rebound. Now, the difference is it's a one-possession game versus the two that it could have been with that second free throw.
Veteran team for TCU. I bring your attention to fouls to give for TCU. How do they play it here with that one foul to give against this Baylor team?
I'm going to assume they have practiced this because I always say that. It's so easy to say, oh, you got a foul to give. If you haven't practiced it, you don't want to risk it because the last thing you want to do is foul a shooter in the act and potentially make it a 4-point play. If they've worked on it. Mark Campbell's telling us.
The clock will be adjusted to 9.2.
Again, no one wants this game to end. We keep adding time. But he is telling his team, let some time go off. It does you no good to make and commit this foul early. But the key right now, Baylor is out of timeout. So first and foremost, they must get the ball inbounded.
9.2 on the clock. Here is Andrews, their top three-point shooter. Out to Vonleh. Vonleh will launch the three. Off the iron, no good. Emma Nopu with the rebound, and she is fouled with 1 second left. Erinette Vonleh attempted 13 threes before this attempt right here, and it was this close.
I love the call, though, and as a head coach, all you can ask is your team execute and that you get a good look. Baylor got the good look.
Clock is being adjusted to 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
2 seconds now on the clock, but the catch for Baylor is one free throw, and the game is over because it'll be a two-possession game, and Baylor is out of timeouts even if both these don't go down. Emma Nopu gets one. Perfect at the line. Andrews will throw it up at the buzzer. Add another chapter to a remarkable story. From last place 2 years ago to Big 12 tournament champions. One and 17 in the Big 12 2 years ago. Big 12 regular season and tournament champions, and Haley Van Lith has her tournament championship. She's standing by with Chris.
She does. Haley, congratulations. 20 points, but only 4 in the first half. What were you telling yourself to switch things up offensively?
Listen, they were doubling me off every ball screen. They were face guarding me when I was off the ball. They didn't want me to have the ball. That's okay. I made passes, and the time came to get shots off in the second half, and I took them.
You have played in 4 tournament title games. This was the first one you won. How badly did you want it?
Hey, I want it the same every year, but this is my last year, so I sold out, and we were able to get it done.
We've talked about the turnaround for this team. Why is this group, the personalities and everyone on it, the team that's been able to change things for TCU?
Yeah, I mean, we're just so willing to play with each other. The humility of our players and the chemistry we have, it wins games in these tight moments, and so I couldn't be more proud.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
They paused the party for just a moment, and a coach to the end, Mark Campbell, is handling the T-shirt distribution. Our player of the game brought to you by Phillips 66. Who else but Haley Van Lith?
20 points on the evening, and Haley said it. They were doubling her all over the floor. It didn't matter because she stayed patient. She stayed ready. She made difficult shots look easy in this second half. That's the baller in Haley Van Lith.
They've got the shirts. You'll see the trophy presentation concluding the Phillips 66 Women's Big 12 Championship. It'll be over on ESPN Plus as TCU's celebration, long awaited, much deserved, will go on for a long time here in Kansas City as they capture the Big 12 Tournament Championship. Now all that's left to be decided is what their seed will be in the NCAA tournament as they go to the NCAAs for the first time in 15 years. It's official. Their name is the final one there on the board. Congratulations to TCU, Big 12 Tournament champions. We thank everybody who put in such great work all week long behind the scenes here. Producer Caitlin Urka, Corey Huffman, our director, Dan Ferran here at the table with us, Robert Miller keeping us all in line all day long. For Christy Thomascuddy and our entire crew, I'm Eric Freed. Congratulations to TCU, Big 12 Tournament champions.